Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to talk about a few things today. Um, yeah, we can talk about a few things today. I've got a little time to myself and I've got some energy. A little bit of energy and a little bit of time means I'm going live. So here I am. Um, I don't have too much to say about the Keke Palmer situation because I said a lot of it in the first video that I made about her relationship with this guy. But I'll tell you um, the one thing that stood out to me about this recent situation that she had from the Usher concert and the aftermath, like her child's father sending tweets about her after the fact. The one thing that came to my mind was lack of protection. Lack of protection. That's what came to my mind. Lack of protection. And that is um, a lot of women's experience when they choose to be with guys like that. Because ultimately, what his behavior demonstrated, and for those of you who don't know, I think everybody kind of knows because it kind of went viral. But just in case you don't know, Keke Palmer went to Usher's residency in Vegas and was in the celebrity seating or the VIP seating. And then he does his little serenade. He does his serenade, and she had on a cute little dress with a sheer bottom and was, just really very flattered and kind of acting extra with the serenade. And then there's another point in time that she zoomed in on him, like his abs or something, on her social media stories, and that was that. Then after um, this got onto her social media and it started to get shared, her child's father um, sends out these tweets or Instagram posts, one or both, basically saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't have worn that dress. You're a mother," and basically that she was doing too much, and some, things along those lines. And after he sent out his uh, text messages, a lot of people just kind of started dogpiling on Kiki, shaming her for the outfit and saying that he's a good guy, he's trying to protect her, and she needs to listen to her man. And all the mammies were just coming and doing their thing, and the Dusties were coming out and doing their thing, and just the stereotypical stuff that goes on over there. That's how it goes. And and actually, I think that his behavior was the exact opposite of protection. I actually think his behavior was inviting people to scrutinize her and to um, say negative things about her, say negative things about her body, say negative things about her sexuality, kind of patronize her um, and belittle her, and just just overall just get on her, just doing too much. So I really think it was the exact opposite. And honestly, if he had just not said anything, I think that the whole situation would have blown over a lot sooner than what it did. But he added fuel to the fire and kind of like put her out there to like be publicly um everybody to publicly comment on what she has going on in her life and what her intentions were and what may or may not be going on in their relationship. And when you get with guys like that, it's to be expected. They don't have a sense of um they don't have a sense of protection. They don't understand that that is a duty, and how to do it. They don't understand that they're supposed to be doing it. And even if they have some small slither of understanding that they should be protecting, they don't know how to do it because it's so I think it's so foreign to them. I think it's so foreign to them. Um yeah, I mean, and so they just don't know how to do it. It's not in them. Like their natural reaction is to be emotional and bitchy and um, petty. And this isn't the first time also, like, he has deleted and this is what a lot of people are not, bringing up. This is not his first time lashing out on social media. He had lashed out on social media even when she was pregnant. They had broken up, and I think I talked about this in my first video. They had broken up before, and some of it was hashed out, like, he had, like, basically just sent, like, some shady types of tweets, kinda like, um, talking out the side of his neck about her and things like this. So this is not new. So I am not surprised at all. He just seems to be very immature. And I think that what a lot of mammies are trying to do is like justify this immature behavior and be like, oh, you got to wait on him. You got to let him develop into who he, wait and, he don't know no better and stuff like that. But this is the thing, you should be already mature before you go off and have kids. Like if you are too immature to understand that you're supposed to protect the mother of your child, if you're too immature to know that, don't have kids. And if you witness a guy being this petty and immature, don't have a child with him because it's going to be a huge liability for you. This is a huge liability. Because this could have blown over and it could have been just a little cute moment where she was just like team too much, but it could have been over with. He's the one that made this a thing. He made it a thing. A mature person would have just posted a family picture the next day on social media and be like, yeah, we good over here. And then it would have been over. No one would have had anything to say about her or him or Usher, and it would have been over. But he chose. They say they choose violence. He chose violence that day. He just chose, nah, nah, nah. My little fragile ego is bruised, and I am going to make a bigger deal out of this. And this speaks to another thing too, that these males do not see us as an extension of them. They see themselves highly separated from us. You know what I mean? And so, and when I say that, to say that it would be if you see your wife or girlfriend or child's mother as an extension of yourself, then you yourself would be in the business of protecting yourself. And so in a situation like that, you would pull the person in closer for better protection and then to get on the same page behind the scenes. But when you see yourself as an adversary or wholly separated from them, then you need to make public declarations against that person to let the world know how against their behavior you are. I mean, anybody can go out and have a few drinks and maybe get a little frisky or act a little, maybe a little out of character or just do a little team too much. Like we're, humans are not beyond that. But that's definitely not your spouse's opportunity to disown you. You see what I'm saying? That just speaks to the level of shallowness and immaturity that's prevalent in the relationship and within that person. Because I was thinking about when I think it was Drake who had said some derogatory things about, Serena, and her husband just came with just the most classiest like, he just had the classiest clap back. It was like it was what he said was so witty. It was just enough to let people know, like, "Don't F with my wife. Um, we good over here." But he said so much with so few words. Like, we good over here. I love my wife. That's who I'm rocking with. I love my child. I love my wife. And I don't care about you. You're insignificant. You don't run shit over here. We good over here. And I wish the fuck you would. Like, he said so much with so few words. But everyone left pretty much understanding that, like, there is nothing that you can say about his wife that's about to do anything to their household over there. Okay. And he said what he said. You know what I mean? And so, and it's been other, it's been other situations where other people have kind of like said little classy stuff about having to defend their wives or just make, comments or put out information or put out stuff on social media to let people know where they stand as a family unit. And, you know, and that's what you would expect a mature, developed man to do. You would expect the mature man who developed man to put out something that will de-escalate a situation, not escalate a situation. But we know struggle bandits rarely de-escalate situations, and they tend to escalate them beyond what is even necessary. And that is what we all saw. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't want to I really don't want to speculate what's going to happen because Kiki never ceases to amaze me. She never ceased to amaze me. So I don't know. The pick meism is real deep in the veins. So I don't know. But one thing I can tell you though, if there is anything that makes you wake up, it can if you allow motherhood to wake you up. Motherhood will wake you up. Motherhood will wake you up if you allow it to, because you really the rubber meets the road and you really get to see your future. You get to see what people are made of. You get to see how much of the parenting you're doing by yourself. I don't know. Kim went off and had four kids with someone who wasn't helping her. So you just never know if someone's going to open up their eyes during the whole motherhood process or if they will just continue down the same path. So only time will tell with Kiki. And I literally don't want to make a prediction on that because the pick meism runs so deep. I don't know if she has the wherewithal to stop this behavior because, I mean, in a perfect world, Kiki would just cut her losses and raise her child because unfortunately, the longer she lives with this guy, the more claims that he can have on her assets. And one thing that we have seen with struggle bandits, like for example in Jennifer Hudson's case, these struggle bandits, if they need to get these children in order to get their bag, they will do it. Okay. If they need to get the children in order to get a bag, they will, if that's the only way. So then enter custody battles. You know, custody battle has entered the chat. Custody battle has entered the chat because, literally has no lifestyle without her. And that clip of her going on Steve Harvey has also made a resurgence of Steve basically telling her, hey, stop getting with guys that you need to provide a lifestyle for and that don't have the lifestyle that you provide outside of yourself. Stop doing that. She's like, "Oh, Uncle Steve, you always try to hook me up with billionaires and multimillionaires, and you're always telling me about guys' net worth and what I need to do. And some of these multimillionaires are so mean, and I've dated a couple of them, and I didn't like." And it's like, well, girl, I mean, it's quite possible that Kiki could go back and just contemplate and look at some of these situations and look at the advice that she was given about finding someone that could actually have something to offer to her, someone who doesn't need her for a lifestyle, um, and go from there as far as picking. Now, for all we know, we're not in the situation. For all we know, he could be lashing out because Kiki's already separating herself from him. That's possible. Struggle bandits do things like that. We may not even be privy to it. Maybe she's working with her publicist to figure out how to unravel this dumpster fire of a relationship and figuring out how, what is going to be the most strategic as far as her career is concerned, what is going to be the most strategic way to, um, r- you know, deal with the relationship ending. That's possible. And Lord knows, I would hope that's what's happening. I would pray that that's what's happening, but who knows? Um, who knows? And maybe she was just out celebrating her freedom. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be a while for before we know, if ever, the ins and outs of exactly what's going on. But What he did not fail to do was he didn't fail to show us who he is. He definitely was able to do that. He was able to show the world who he is and how he feels about her. Like, can you like yeah, you just the immaturity, it's the immaturity for me. It's like, what is the point of having a child with someone who's gonna act like a little boy? Like, stop. And then wanna holler out, "I'm the leader of the household." Like, boy, bye. You are like, you're not in charge of anything, clearly. But yeah, that type of behavior, it grinds my gears. The immaturity for me is very repulsive. Because how are you supposed to trust somebody like that with your life and life or death situations and things in the household? Like, how are you supposed to have trust in somebody like that that can't even keep their mouth closed and stay off of social media for 24 hours, disparaging their own family? But they don't have um any pride or anything really that they stand for besides pleasing struggle bandits. Because another thing that this situation shows is their desperate need to appeal to each other as struggle bandits. Because it's the struggle bandits that's like, ooh, look at your girl, ooh, your girl out there, swooning over Usher. Ooh, what kind of dude are you? And like, and him, and jeopardizing his own family life, he would jeopardize his own family life because random struggle bandits online, or maybe some of his homeboys, I don't know. Struggle bandits are criticizing him, and so he would disparage his own child's mother to please them and to make them give him a pat on the back. That pat on the back from fellow bandits is more important than the stability of your household. That's a shame. That's very immature. That's very, very, very immature and short-sighted, but it is also in alignment with how they act. Like, we know that their own approval of one another is very important. More important, in other words, they're more interested in pleasing men than they are with pleasing women, and even pleasing the one woman in their life. Like, the one woman that you are tasked to please is your child's mother, who should be your wife, but that's another story. Your child's mother. That's the one person that you should be aiming on pleasing and making happy and making sure she's good. But you are more interested in making sure that struggle bandits give you a pat on the back. Like, that's the world that they live in. That is the world that they live in. Seriously. Um, so those are my thoughts on it. The first thing that came to my mind when the situation happened was lack of protection. Lack of protection. When you choose that way, when you want to be with guys like that, you're basically out there fending for yourself. Because not only are they not going to proactively go out there and to protect you, they're actually going to invite drama and conflict into your home and into your life, and actually make your life worse off. They actually make your life worse off. So I don't know if y'all think that she will have learned anything from this situation. I mean, I would be um I don't think I want this swim. I'm sorry, I'm like finding things to donate. I don't think I want this swimsuit anymore. It's like not my style anymore. And I don't want it. Bwahaha. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that she has learned anything? Do you think that things will continue as they've been going? Or do you think that she will make a like she will make a any type of adjustments or changes? What do you ladies think? And then maybe if I have time, I can try to pull up this Dwayne Wade, because I told you I was going to do a follow up to that video, and I have not done it. Uh, let's see. Oh, thank you so much. You say you love my voice. Thank you. Apparently, Steve tried to introduce her to better men, but she didn't think that they were pretty enough. She likes bums. She does like bums. It just perplexes me. I don't know. Well, I guess at the core of things, it's like a self-esteem. It's similar to what I was, talking about the Gabby, not the Gabby. Well, yeah, Gabrielle Union, that Gabby. It's similar when I was talking about that situation when I was when she's talking like clearly we see a beautiful woman, but when you are a dark-skinned, unambiguous black woman, like Kiki is gorgeous and Gabby Union is gorgeous, but they are unambiguous black women. When you are an unambiguous black woman with those kind of features and that kind of skin tone and that kind of kink in your hair, when you view yourself through the lenses by which black men view you, you aren't able to appreciate all the beauty of with it that is within yourself because there's so many limitations and all these caveats to beauty, and you know that you're still like, oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl, or there's just all these reservations. It's like it's hard to really truly embrace your beauty and embrace yourself as a woman if you are trying to cater to that particular demographic, you know. And so it's hard even if you say, okay, I'm going to work on my self-esteem, I'm going to build up my self-esteem. If you stay in that environment with those kinds of males, it's a constant question, it's a constant questioning of your self-esteem, or like your value and your beauty as a woman. And I think deep down they know it's also because of what I do, and it's not just because of who I am. Like, I'm in this relationship because of what I'm doing and what I quote bring to the table and what I have and how I make it really easy for him to be with me because, I allow side babies and I don't leave, and I, da 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 da. And that's why I'm here, as opposed to I'm beautiful. Just the essence of me in and of itself is enough. And like the man that wants to be with me would do anything to be with me because of who I am. And it's more about what I do. So I just, it is possible for a woman to have a transformation. It's possible for a black woman to have a transformation and decide to decide to bolster her self-worth. And one of the things that is demonstrated with the feelings on the inside, the feelings of self-worth on the inside, how that is demonstrated is how you treat yourself. And then how you treat yourself is an extension of the people you choose, especially the man you choose in your life, the men you choose to date, marry, or have a procreate with. That becomes an extension of like how you value yourself and how you feel, what you feel you deserve, what you feel like you're worth, because you're going to choose someone who treats you almost as good as you treat yourself. It's be virtually impossible. You should treat yourself so royally. Okay, you should treat yourself so royally that no one can treat you better than you treat yourself. But you should find a man that treats you almost as good as you treat yourself, who talks to you almost as good as you talk to yourself, that values you almost as much as you value yourself, that pedestalizes you almost as much as you pedestalize yourself. That's the goal. That's the barometer. Not someone who's going to make you work and pay half the bills, even though you're going through infertility treatments. Okay. Not somebody who's going to publicly try to add fuel to the flames of social media, ridiculing, escapade in the midst of everything. And you just had a baby, and like, not someone like that, but there's someone who will truly cherish you. You have to, when you cherish yourself, you demonstrate how you feel about yourself outwardly by who you choose to have in your life. And so if Dwayne Wade is is a representation of how she feels about herself, I know it gives me a lot of information. Okay. Gives me information to let me know. And Kiki's choice gives me information to let me know, like give me an insight how she may possibly feel about herself. Because we can say, I mean, the sun will come up and the sun will go down. And I mean, to the cows come home, we could be like, "Girl, you deserve better. Girl, you deserve better. Girl, you deserve better." But clearly, she don't believe it right now, or at least didn't, 7 months ago when I did my initial video on it. She did not. Um, she didn't believe it that she deserves better. Like and I even have a personal situation in my life right now where there's a woman going through a traumatic situation. I'm going to try to help her. I'm going to help her professionally, whatever she decides to do. I'm going to help her. I've already said that in my mind. I'm going to help her. When I initially saw the situation, I didn't even know who it was. I didn't even know, but she reached out to me and been like, "Hey, that thing, that's actually me. Please don't tell anybody." Da 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 da. Cool. Of course, completely confidential. I won't do that. I'm going to help her professionally, whatever she decides to do. But before I start helping her professionally, I'm going to talk to her as a sister, a big sister, and be like, "Listen, we need to talk about this situation. And this is what I've been through. This is what I can tell you can expect. This is what I would do if I were your age and if I were in your situation. This is what I would do. This is what I would advise my little I don't have any blood little sisters, but if I that I know of, who knows, y'all, with these bandits, who knows, I might have some siblings running around that I don't know about. But to my knowledge, I don't have any little blood sisters, but if I had a blood sister, this is literally what I would tell her. This is what I would tell my little cousin. And then I'm gonna drop that information on her, and then I'm be like, "Okay, I'm done with sister mode. Let me know how you feel about it because I'm about to switch to professional mode, and I'm gonna help you regardless." Okay. So, but I was looking back on one of her social media posts, and she had posted about not long ago, like literally not long ago, okay, within the last quarter, we'll say, she posted about men that women are too demanding on men and that um women need to pay their own way and women are just asking for too much or some shit like that. So basically like pick me stuff. And now we're in a crisis. We're in a crisis. So I say that to say that a lot of these crises that come up in these bad situations, it starts with the mindset. It starts with the mindset. And so I will continue to drive home the importance of reprogramming the mind and the heart and the spirit. I believe in it wholeheartedly because every time I start digging around these bad situations, the mindset is always flawed. How many leveled up gold diggers do you have coming online talking about my husband beat my ass, or I got scammed, or my baby daddy's cheating on me with eight, da 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 da. He didn't had six such and such amount of kids on me. Like how many leveled up gold digging women are paying alimony? How many leveled up like gold digging women are um, you know, having a man sleep on their couch or have a stay at home husband that don't do like you don't see that, because it's the mindset first. It's a certain like if you look at a tragedy, usually if you look at a tragedy and then you backstep it, backstep it, it's always a flawed mentality at the beginning of the road. These women that are getting offed, these women who are experiencing grave bodily harm and damage, um, they're not leveled up gold diggers. They might be cute. Some of them are cute, but they have a different belief system. They have a belief system that and a worldview that leads them into a certain direction. and then that direction can go into catastrophe. It can go into a really bad, dark place. Anytime, and yes, of course, anybody can be a victim of a random act of violence or random crime. I'm not saying that, but leveled up women are less likely to be in places like where Carlicia was in that place, in that raggedy restaurant. I wouldn't go in there. Leveled up women are less likely to be in places like that, getting takeout in ratchet neighborhoods and stuff like that. Leveled up women don't really go to like random parking lots and block parties and raggedy neighborhoods to just be hanging around. Like, leveled up women want to do different types of things. They're not trying to go to those block parties. Y'all hear about these block parties that are getting shot up and stuff? You don't really see leveled up women in places like that. So just your mindset alone shields you from a lot of encounters, and um, it lowers your possibility to be a victim of violence and crime just by having a certain mindset, having a certain mentality, choosing the best for yourself. Already and inherently, like, it lowers your chances of being a victim of crime and being caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time, being around the wrong people, being approached by the wrong people, being attacked by the wrong, it just lowers your chances all altogether, just by having a leveled up mindset and wanting to be in certain areas or wanting to avoid certain areas. I need to plug up my laptop. Um, Let me see if I can find the plug. Um, yeah, and so leveled up women also, um, you don't see them, they don't have a race to the bottom when it comes to finding a partner or a man to date. They're not telling you what you ain't got to do to get their love or their affection, and what women are asking for too much. They have a long list of standards. They have a long list of things that you would need to have in order to date them. And so that eliminates a lot of people, and it makes the pool a lot more, um it makes the pool a lot smaller, and it lessens your chances of having one of those catastrophes. A lot of us only love the skin tone. The skin tone of a struggle bandit? Ugh, child. I was thinking about that the other day. Um, there's so much more than a skin tone when it comes to blackness and genetics. Um, if you just look at, I know for one part of one of the certifications I had to look at a lot of like genetic mutations and birth defects and genetic mutations and things like that. And I could tell you, um, we have so many reasons to celebrate having been born black. We have a lot of reasons to celebrate that. But on the same token, when it comes to genetics, the indisputable, um, the cycle, the generation after generation cycle of like the types of males that this community produces, there's something there. Like, that's definitely worth looking into. Um, this is definitely worth looking into. Like, there's some type of flaw there. Perhaps just, you know, cowardly man after cowardly man after cowardly man always getting a chance to reproduce, because maybe with natural selection these cowardly men would have been weeded out of the population, but because of the unique circumstances that we've been in, um they've been allowed to reproduce. And so there's something there. There's definitely something there. As much as there's a lot to celebrate, With being black, there's definitely something to scrutinize with the quality of males that are rampant, that are the majority. That's worth scrutinizing for sure. Something ain't clean in the buttermilk. Something has gone awry. Okay? Something genetically or spiritually or maybe a combination has gone awry because the quality is lack it's not conducive to family building. Okay? It's dangerous. I mean, it's a mess. Um but yeah, I guess that could be another conversation for another day, but um there's so many reasons to celebrate um being born black. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's not that we don't need sunblock. Of course, we can wear sunblock. It helps, but it's not like usually it's not a life or death situation for us. So I know in my community, and I was just with some moms earlier today. The little girl was like severely sunburned. I mean, she was like like it hurt her, And my daughter and I are just kind of looking like, we can be out all day in the sun and not be burned. Um, yeah, just reason number 1101 to like celebrate being black. We could just like go and be in the sun and it's not gonna kill us. So I like that. I like that about being black. Um, yeah. So anyway, I don't know what she's gonna do. Time will tell. I'm curious to see uh I'm curious to see how it's gonna go. Which way is she gonna go? And like how is this gonna sit over with her? I mean, is she somewhere apologizing because she thinks she was in the wrong? Which I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was just a little tipsy and I don't know, and having fun. I didn't see it as that big of a deal. I really didn't see it as that big of a deal. What she was like, you know, hanging out at a concert. I didn't see it as a big deal at all. So time will tell. Time will tell. But anyway, ladies, what else do y'all have on your mind? I've got some more time. Maybe while you are, I don't know. I kind of want to do the Dwayne Wade thing, but I don't have it queued up. I had written down some timestamps somewhere or another. I wrote down some timestamps. I don't know where they are. I should try to find them. That's not it. Uh, Dang it. Yeah, I know for sure that I wrote down some timestamps. So maybe I will just hold off on that and do it later. Oh, I don't know what that. Oh, okay, here are the timestamps actually. Okay, I got two timestamps from that video. And I think I was maybe like halfway done with it. So, yeah, maybe I'll just read it later. It was never about the outfit. Even if she had on sweatpants and a hoodie, he would have been mad because she was being viewed as an attractive by a man with more money. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you make a really great point. Yeah, I think it's always going to be something with him. And like I said, I think he has deleted those old tweets and those old Instagram posts, but this is not his first time lashing out at her online. This is not his first time. So we definitely see there's a pattern there. There's a pattern. Yeah. It could have been anything. And if she stays, this won't be the last thing. But unfortunately, it's like when you're in a bad situation like this one, the longer you stay in it, the more grounds he has to get her money. Like he can be like, "Oh, we're common law married," or "Oh, I'm," like the thing about a Dusty like this is the Dusty since you're the primary, like, basically Dusty's like him, they can use the fact that you're the breadwinner against you. They can use the fact that you are the breadwinner against you. So the more he stays involved with your life and knows the ins and outs of your life, he can be documenting, oh, the baby's with the nanny, oh, the baby's with the grandmama, oh, the baby's with the sister, whoever, and or I got the baby. And he could be building a cake while he's sleeping in your bed, eating up your food in your refrigerator. He can be building a case against you at the same damn time about how you don't take care of your child because you're too busy working. Because he's a stay-at-home dad. So he could be building a case from within her own home, using her own information against her. And then be like, "Oh, well, I need full custody and she needs to pay me child support because I'm going to be the parent that's going to be present. She's too busy working." So you're better to just kick him out now so that he don't have to know what you do, when you do, and how you do it. Okay? You better to kick him out now than having to fight for your own kid. Like that is just the hardest thing ever. And it's not so hard because the Dusty loves the child. They don't be loving the children like that. It's about control, number one, of the woman, taking away the one thing that you love. Like like when Dusty's, and I have personal experience with this, when there's nothing that they could do to hurt you, they will use your children to hurt you. They see the children as pawns. And for Dusty like him, the child can be seen as a meal ticket. I'm pretty sure he had been trying to trap her down since the moment he met her and saw how gullible she was. Gullible and easy. Not easy. I'm not saying easy in like like in a bad way, but just like gullible. Okay. Gullible for the bull. And he was probably like, "Oh wow, I got my meal ticket now. Let me go ahead and knock her up and, make her have to deal with me for the rest of her life. I'm going to make her have to deal with me for the rest of her life." And so that's what he did. Yay, you caught a chat. Welcome to the chat. I've been talking about a few random topics, but the main topic I've been talking about is what has happened with Keke Palmer and her Dusty lashing out online and inviting people to comment on his child's mother's body and inviting people to comment on um her motherhood and whether she's a good putting her motherhood at on the judgment table, inviting people to scrutinize her motherhood. Because why? Because he publicly did it. He publicly did it. So it's like an invitation for others to dogpile on your child's mother, which is quite despicable. But in Dusty land and using Dusty logic, this all of what he has done makes perfect sense in their world. They live in a very special needs and a special special world. It's a special world with special needs. Seriously. They live in an alternate universe. But in their world, that behavior was perfectly fine and perfectly justified. And given a chance, he'd do it again, and he will do it again if she gives him an opportunity, he will do it again. I wonder about his background. He looks like he's biracial. Maybe his dad is black. I don't know. It has to be his dad. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe his dad is black because of the way he behaves. Darius. Thinking maybe that's it. I don't know. But he's so obscure and so insignificant, like, nobody knows anything real that much about him because he doesn't really have a resume. Doesn't really hasn't really done anything. And she talking about he's when she was on Tamron Hall, she was talking about he was industry adjacent. Girl, the only industry that he's adjacent to is you. And I guess his brother is like a Not even a C-list actor. He's like an extra. The brother is an extra. So how are you gonna be a plus one of an extra? How you an extra of an extra? Fitness instructor, yeah. But his brother was like an extra, I think, on Insecure, and he was a plus one at a party. So like, that's not industry. That ain't industry nothing. Like, child, Kiki and Lord, women, just come on. I don't know what else we can do. But these types of scenarios never end well. They don't. And it's like these are the best years of your life. Your career, you have so much opportunities. I think her publicist is amazing. Um, some of the some of the media that she has landed, I mean, that's not on accident. It's because of her publicist, and also using the energy from like the last couple of movies that she did, those kind of like more mainstream movies where she has an opportunity to be not just known in the black community, but just be mainstream popular. She is mainstream popular, but she has an opportunity to just grow her audience, grow her fan base, get more opportunities, and continue to shine. This is the best years of her life. And one child don't stop the show, baby. Get your baby and just do what you got to do and just keep going. It doesn't have to, it's not the end all, and just because you procreate with someone who isn't the best for you doesn't mean you have to stay in the situation and try to salvage it. And that's where so many black women mess up. They're like, oh well, I want, you have this fantasy in your mind about a family, but the fantasy is incomplete because you don't know all of the, like, the ingredients to build it and to have it. You need a mature man, number one, and you ain't got that. Like, he's very immature. He's like a boy. So you're missing that piece. You're missing a lot of, you need someone who is your economically more advanced than you, financially more advanced than you, so you don't have the pressure of the family on you as a woman. While I'm pretty sure she wants more kids, or even just to get this kid on, up and running, like breastfeeding this child, uh raising this child, and really like being able to just focus on your motherhood, still do your career. But what if one day you wake up and you're like, the career is too much? You should be able to wake up one day and be like, the career is too much. I don't want to do this anymore. That's the beauty. I talk about options as a leveled up woman. That's the beauty of having options. As a woman with small children, as a woman who is of childbearing age, or really any age, but especially during childbearing age, pregnant, just had a baby, have small children under the age of 10, that critical time, you should be able to be like, yeah, this is too much. I want to be a soccer mom. I want to like be in the PTA. I want to just focus on my child. I want to, you should have the ability to do that. You shouldn't be like, I can't do that because I'm responsible for my adult son, AKA my baby daddy, and I'm also responsible for my children. So I can't stop working. I can't. I have to keep working. I don't have the ability to slow down. I don't have the ability to step back. And that's the trap. I guess that's the trap I'm really speaking to when you partner down. When you partner down, you take options off the table as a woman, options that you so desperately need. These are vital options. These are life affirming options. Hear me when I tell you. These are life affirming, life sustaining options that you vitally need as a woman. And you shouldn't have those options ripped from you, excluded from you, taken from you. You shouldn't have any obstructions or obstacles in accessing these life sustaining options. The options to pull back, the options to focus on home, the option to focus on your health. These options, you need them. But when you get with someone who is a dud, all that goes away, and you don't have any options. And then all the resentment can build up. There's all this resentment. Ooh, y'all know what we about to do. Hold on. I'm about to show y'all something. Hold on. Let me get this going. Cuz I'm going to show you the hypocrisy. Um I'm going to show you uh hypocrisy isn't quite the word. The contradiction, the conflicted feelings that a lot of these struggle bandits have. I'm going to show it to you what it looks like from a different vantage point. Let me try to find cue up this video because I saw this and I thought about you ladies. I was like, I gotta show y'all this. I got okay. Here it is, right here. All right, let me. Oh, okay. We about to watch this. We about to watch this. Let me show this to y'all, and then I'll open up the line too if y'all have commentary. Hold on, yeah. Okay, can y'all see this? We about to listen to this struggle bandit. Okay, let me give you a little bit of context. Okay, so this struggle bandit has been sending his money to a scammer. He's never talked to this girl. He's never FaceTime with this girl. He's never seen her. All he has gotten is pictures. That's it. And he sends money to her and he is a Uber driver. Okay. So uh let me know if you can hear this. Listen to the first thing he says. Now, let me let you listen to the first thing he says, and then I'm going to add an observation that I have made. Hold on.
She's beautiful. She's light skinned, long hair, like a brown color. She's beautiful, man.
We're going to get you some clarity. We're going to look into this for you. But one thing, you can't send her any money.
Why not? I mean, I've been doing it. So it wouldn't affect, I'm just saying it wouldn't affect me like that.
Now, what we don't know is we don't know if this struggle bandit has any children or grandchildren, but I would guess he does. But he's sending this lady money every week or every day. I think it's every day. He sends her money every day. He barely has any money, but he sends her money every day. She's not real. This is all a scam. And so spoiler alert, it's a scam. But the first thing he says out of his mouth is she's light-skinned. She's beautiful. And this is Social Capish. This show has called people out on racism before, but I've never, they've never like they don't touch on the whole like colorism thing. They don't touch on that. They will speak out against racism, but they just let his colorism just fly right on by. But I really want to try to find the specific point where I want to show you this conflicted feelings.
I can't send you actual pictures that I take right now. I can't FaceTime you. Things I can't do in the military because of our security level.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back.
She's in the military. She told me she was in Afghanistan. But they sit them out on their work. And the military is a stickler behind certain things, which I found out that they really truly are. Do's and don'ts of the military. I can't send you actual pictures that I take right now. I can't FaceTime you. Things I can't do in the military because of our security level. A few times we were supposed to get together, but that didn't happen because of the military prolonging the stay and whatnot. She really didn't ask me for money. It was more like we were discussing some of the things that she had to do with taking care of her relatives and some of the things that she had to pay. So I offered to help her. I did. All I wanted to do was help her. I didn't want her to struggle. I didn't want her to worry, and I still don't. I don't want her to worry about a thing. I want her to serve her time out, and I'll take care of her. She would thank me with all her heart. Thank you.
So this is the part that I wanted to draw attention to. He said, I want to take care of her. He goes on later on into into this video, and he speaks about this again when they tally up sort of like all the money. I think he sent her like 30,000 or something like that. He's an Uber driver, and they tally up like all the money he sent. In his mind, he's like, well, once she comes home, I'm gonna completely take care of this woman. And her money will be her money, and she can do whatever she wants with it. Her money will be her money, and I'm going to take care of her. There's a lot to unpack here. One of the things that's to unpack here is the fact that struggle bandits will say all day and all night that they don't want to take care of a woman. This is wholly untrue. Like, there's some smidget, there's some little vestige of manhood. There's just some inkling deep inside of them that does want to take care of a woman. The problem is he is an Uber driver. He cannot afford to take care of a woman, much less a woman like this. He can't. And so there's two things existing at the same time. One, there's something in him deep inside that wants to take care of a woman. And two, there's a deep laziness and a deep inadequacy and a deep incompetency inside of him that keeps him locked as an Uber driver. You see what I'm saying? Both of these things are existing at the same time. The incompetency, the laziness, the ignorance, and the stupidity override the desire to take care of a woman. Because he's been an Uber driver for, I want to say, over 10 years or something. Something like that. He's had time to go back to school. He's had time to do a trade. He's had time to create a business. He could have made his own transportation business by now. Speaking of the whole Ebony thing, he's had time to like learn Uber's system and be like, I'm going to create my own transportation business. He's had time to buy real estate and be renting that out. He's had time to do everything, but he is still in the exact same position as he was 10 years ago, still driving for Uber, making pretty much the same amount of money. So if he were to get a woman and maybe have some inkling or some feelings of wanting to take care of her, the resentment builds up quickly because you realize you can't. As much as you might have wanted to at one point in time, you can't. So then you have to shift back into being a boy and wanting her to take care of you. And feeling all this anger because you can't act on what you wanted to do initially, which is to take care of her. And so everything she does, all of her success, all of her advancement, when she goes back for her master's, when she goes back for her certification, when she gets a promotion at work, all of that builds jealousy and resentment because the stupidity and the laziness override the desire to take care of a woman. The desire to take care of the woman isn't a strong enough motivating factor to go out there and to become better. Do you see the conflict that exists in these struggle bandits? And this is a lot of the root of the domestic violence. Because it's like jealousy, it's hatred, it's envy, it's frustration with themselves. It's like self-hate inflicted on the woman. How they feel about themselves inflicted on the woman. Because they're angry because they're inadequate. But he's still driving Uber though. He hasn't done anything to help himself economically. And not only is he's so stupid, he's sending money to this picture that is revealed to be like a scammer. It just no common sense whatsoever. But this is this is a demonstration of what I've been trying to explain with the inner conflict in these bandits. And he just articulated What I'm telling you is in their mind. He's saying what's been in his mind, what he wants to do. He has no understanding that your Uber salary is not enough money to take care of yourself, you yourself, sir, less known a younger woman, less known any woman. And so when we talk about these struggle bandits initially getting into these relationships with these preferences, having a desire to take care of them, because we have to understand there's a color line a lot of times with what they feel a woman deserving to be taken care of. And then a lot of times black women don't enter into that equation at all. Like black women, no, you need to work. You need to pay half the bills. The preference, yes, I will take care of the preference, but not of you. But even with the desire to take care of the preference, they can't. They can't. We see it all the time. They build them up on the pedestal only to just knock them down. To just knock them down when it's like, and that is really like, I can't afford to take care of you. I don't want to advance myself. I don't want to be better. I don't want to do better. So I'm going to torment you. All my demons are going to come out. I'm not going to deal with anything. I'm not going to go to therapy. I'm not going to help myself. I'm not going to be better. I'm just going to stay where I'm at. But I'm going to blame you for all of my problems and I'm going to hurl everything towards you. And that little small, you know, feeling of wanting to take care of a woman is it's too small and it's too minuscule to be a motivating factor to be a better person. you know it's just too much. Let me see if I could find where else he was talking about.
Making the people in his community feel comfortable and taken care of when they request a ride from him.
I take pride in my job. You know, I did 26,000 rides for Uber. So, man, my experiences, man, I have so many. I had a woman in my car yesterday. She was so delightful. I get joy out of this most of the time. I provide a nice ride. I provide a ride where, you can be yourself. I mean, and if we want to talk, we can talk. Most of the time I talk a lot. I like to talk. So it's whatever the mood is. I don't know what people go through throughout the day. So I don't judge a person by what I feel because most of the time you don't know. I'd say 98, 99% of the time you don't know. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a giving guy. And I truly care. If somebody's in my car and they're going through stuff, I'm there for them in terms of having a conversation to just be open to what people have to say and be kind of understanding.
Since Mary has claimed she was deployed to Afghanistan, Mike has essentially been funding her life. He sends her money daily.
I would send her, it wouldn't be in a bulk sum. It would be like a little bit every day or every other day, 200 bucks. I can make $200 a day, sometimes 300. So I send her a portion of that every day. She doesn't have to ask me. I just do it. And when I haven't been able to do it, we talked about it, but it's me initiating it. So if I make 150, I'll send her 75. Every day it adds up. We've been together over 2 years, $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So it might be more than that. I'm just using 30,000 as a ballpark. Might be 60. Let's say 40. It's almost like I pay her rent because she says she's going to get her money after she gets out and we can share that. And I tell her, I won't need to really share that with you. You can just have that as your play money because what I'm getting, I'll be able to take care of you the rest of your life.
Do you hear the delusion? He's like, I'll be able to take care of you. You could use your money for play money. Like, uh, I think it sounds good. Like, what man wouldn't want to say something like that? Like, yeah, a real man would want to say something like that. But he is so delusional. He doesn't understand. Like, you work for Uber. You don't have a job. You're a contractor. You're like, they terminate your account. What you gonna do? They could just cut you off. of the platform. And then what? You don't have no skills, you know. Now, he was arguing. I would want to know if he was with a black woman before her, because he was arguing and carrying on with the woman before he started talking to the scammer and sending the scammer money every day. So I just wonder if he was living in this woman's home, because he moved out, which makes me believe he was living in this woman's home, and then maybe whatever he was contributing, he stopped because he started sending it to the scammer. And then he had all these like criticisms about her, which I really think that were things that he was doing. Because a lot of, narky people do stuff like that. Like, they'll do stuff and then say that the other person was doing it to them. So who knows? But I would be interested to know that. I'd be interested to know how many children does he have? How many grandchildren does he have? What is he doing for his children and or grandchildren? And the delusion is clear for everybody to see. But I wanted to shine a light on this inner turmoil that these bandits go through, and how important it is for you to be crystal clear, because you cannot base your logic on a confused person. This guy is confused. He's confused, he's ignorant, it's a lot of stuff. He's your average struggle bandit. And so when people are like, oh, the manosphere said this, the manosphere said that, and high value that, like, throw all of that shit away. Throw it away. Put it in the garbage can. You cannot base yourself on these confused people. These people are confused. They don't know what they want. They don't have no type of clear direction. They're ignorant. They're not able to determine what they're really able to do, what they're not able to do. They have no type of plan. They have no type of they're not using logic and reason. They're not using data and probability to, or math in any way to calculate. Like, when you sit your ass down, sir, and you have a pen and a paper and you're writing out a budget, where the hell can you afford a woman at? Talking about her money is going to be play money. I need you to get an Excel and show me the budget. Where you going to live? What kind of safe neighborhood can you put this lady in? This is keep in mind, this lady's a ghost. But like, a woman, what kind of safe neighborhood can you afford on an Uber salary in California? I think he's in California. I don't know. Where can you afford? And like, what are y'all supposed to eat every day? And how are y'all supposed to go on vacation? And how are you going to afford insurance for the both of you, and a car for her and a car for you, and health insurance on the Uber salary? Like, you can say, you know what I told y'all? I told y'all it was cosplay. I told y'all these is dealing in cosplay. They are dealing in cosplay. Ain't no way you sat your ass down and made a budget and figured out that you can afford a woman, a stay-at-home wife. Ain't no way that you calculated that up, because even if you sending her $2,000 a month, if she was here, she gonna be spending like $5,000 a month minimum. That's in that's in like like a suburb. That's not the city. That's not like a big city. That's like you living in rural, or some small town somewhere. And that's not including your expenses. But it sounds good, and so they say stuff like that. So don't get caught up in the hype. Don't listen to people like this, because they don't know what the hell they want. They don't have no plan. They don't have no type of. They're not credible. They're not even competent. This dude is incompetent and fucking ignorant. But this be the niggas that be calling in on the show talking about what you need to do and how you need to be feminine and that. Like, you can't even calculate a budget, a family budget. And you gonna try to tell some woman what she need to do? Like, no, you need to go to enroll into one of them continuing education math class at the local community college, or go to the library and get a book and try to get some assistance reading and coming up with a budget, because ain't no way you did the math. Keep in mind, uh, when they're trying to hurl things at you. This is the intellect level that you're dealing with. Okay. This is the literacy level or lack thereof that you're dealing with. So they're not even on equal footing. And this is why I don't debate. I don't debate these bandits. I don't call into their shows. I don't invite them to come onto my show because I don't want them here. I don't go back and forth in the comments on this platform or any other platforms. I don't go back and forth because this is the intellect level right here. How I look, how would I look, me, in all my grandeur, going back and forth with a bandit like this? Shame on me if I ever do that. Shame on me. Like you could like, yeah, you could pay me to debate. Yeah, sure. But I don't talk to people like this. Call me intellectual, elitist. That's cool. I'll live with that. But I'm not about to go back and forth with nobody on this dumb. I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna tell me nothing about my womanhood. You're not about to tell me nothing about nothing. Okay? That's what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna tell me why you don't mess with black women no more. I'm glad you don't. Every time I look at the situation, I see it as a celebration. A lot of times, our complexion is our protection. It has protected us from bandits like this. My blackness has been my protection from some of this shit, honestly. Because while you want to try to fix your mouth to tell me why you don't date, but trust me, it is beyond mutual. You could not fix your mouth, okay, to tell me why you don't want, like, I wouldn't even want to, like, you couldn't cut my grass, bro. Stop. It, the stupidity here. Now, if they was just, you know, like this on, like, on their own and like not trying to engage in um not trying to engage in disparaging black women, then they could just be dumb and like, okay, well, you have the right. This is a free country. You could be dumb. You have the right to be dumb. But then you want to be dumb and try to hurl a bunch of stuff, insults and stuff at black women. That's where we had a problem. It's like, bro, you're not even on the footings. You're not even on the footings. Let me see if y'all want to listen to this last little bit again.
So if I make 150, I'll send her 75. Every day it adds up. We've been together over 2 years. $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So it might be more than that. I'm just using 30,000 as a ballpark. Might be 60. Let's say 40. It's almost like I pay her rent because she says she's going to get her money after she gets out, and we can share that. And I tell her I won't need to really share that with you. You can just have that as your play money because what I'm getting, I'll be able to take care of you the rest of your life. So I'm coming into a lot of money. Very, very large sum of money. Mary knows this. This is going to happen, I say, within days. And I want to share that with Mary.
Mike is receiving a large amount of money from a settlement suit. He even plans on sharing a portion of it with Mary. This would help her get home and get rid of all the debt he has from sending her money every day.
It's coming back to kind of bite me a little bit because I have taxes, and we sent through Cash App and Bitcoin. And so now you have to be accountable for that. Thank God I'm getting what I'm getting because I can pay all my everything off. I'll be able to pay everything off. The blessing that I'm getting. I knew.
What y'all want to bet when he die, his family don't have a GoFundMe? Would y'all like to bet on that? Do y'all think that this man have adequate life insurance? Just a question. Y'all think that this man have adequate life insurance? He didn't went into debt sending money to a scammer. Yeah. When he died, because he don't look healthy at all, okay? Probably sitting in that Uber eating fast food all day. And when he died, his family 9 times out of 10 gonna post a GoFundMe. He didn't went into debt sending money uh to this picture. But we know that they do we know that they do stuff like this in real life. We know that they do stuff like this in real life. It may not be in this particular way, like sending money every month, but we know good and well that they do this, and that's why the throwbacks that they're allowed to date their dads, uncles, and everything else don't mind because they know it's a way to funnel the resources back to their community. They know that. And they don't have no standards. What did he say? Did he say she was smart? She was beautiful. She was intelligent. Oh, y'all will have to watch this entire video. But basically, this was not even a person. This was an AI bot that he had fell in love with. It's not even a human. So like he would write like, "Oh, I had all this stuff happen to me today." Like this whole relationship is nothing but text messaging. And he's not even texting a human. He's texting a bot, like an AI. He'll be like da 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 da, and then she'll text back like 3 words. "Oh, okay," or "Oh, that sounds interesting." Like it was an AI responding, literally. So he does in other words, there's no character that he could speak to. What did he say? He said she light-skinned it. He said she light-skinned it, she beautiful, and she got long brown hair. That was all that was his whole reason for being with this lady. She light-skinned it, she beautiful, and she got long brown hair. So don't let them attack your womanhood. Don't let them attack your character. And don't let them attack anything that has to do with you because it has nothing to do with your character. You need to be light skinned. Okay. It's only the skin, it's only the whiteness that they're chasing. Can we just all just get on the same page about that? I know y'all, my folks, y'all, my friends, my subscribers, we're all on the same page. But we still need to get other Black women on board to understand this is not about your character. This is not about your womanhood. This is not about you being dominant, loud, or masculine. This is about you not being white or white passing. That's the only issue that they have with you is the fact that you Black. Y'all know another thing I was thinking about the other day. I, you know, and from like I was born in an urban area, predominantly Black, like 90 something, maybe like I don't know, 95% Black or something. But I moved very young to the suburbs. I went from predominantly Black school, like 98% Black, to being Black child, the only Black girl in the second grade. I went from an all Black school to an all white school, and I had absolutely no emotional support at all. And it was a major culture shock for me. It was a major culture shock. But I think that for us suburban Black girls, it's much easier for us to understand this phenomenon that like Black men don't like us like that. I think it's very hard for urban Black women to understand this phenomenon because urban Black women have been isolated and segregated to where they see a lot of Black men dating Black women. And so there was never you could never see them chasing white girls. They have no concept of this. I mean, I think that like to some extent they do, but they don't understand the way suburban Black girls do. Like we grew up watching them googly eyed and chasing after white girls. I grew up with this. None of the boys that I like me back. Now, when I got older, like maybe like junior in high school and stuff like that, when the white girls started to kind of look, a little run down and stuff, some of them came around and like they were trying to talk to me, but by then I was like over it and I'm like ready to move out of the state and everything. But a lot of the guys that I was into, like, in grade school, like, having, like, little crushes, they didn't like black girls. They would run after, they would chase, there was one boy, and, he came up on my timeline not long ago. He has a biracial child, and I'm not surprised. He would chase after white girls for the entire recess. This was in 3rd grade. He just chased all the white girls for the entire recess. That was every single recess. That's what he did. He's a dark-skinned black guy. I had a crush on him. Then I had a crush on a different guy. Like every single guy I had a crush on, like they was not checking for no black girls at all. At all. And some of them have biracial kids. One of the guys that I dated in high school, I looked him up. He has like a throwback. When I tell you a throwback Asian, this is a she is truly a throwback. And I could see why she's slumming with him. And but I'm not surprised. He was so mean to me. We dated, but he was mean to me. It was like he hated me. He hated me, but he was like my boyfriend, but he hated me at the same time. I know it's possible. He did not want to be with a black girl, but that like for whatever reason, maybe he couldn't get what he wanted at the time. I don't know. But I think black girls go through this thing where you just go through this confusion of thinking like, what's wrong with my relationship? Why can't my relationship work? Or why, why? And it's like the problem of the relationship is that he hates you. That's the problem. Like, I know it sounds obvious. It should be obvious, but it's not so obvious when you're in it and you're young and inexperienced and you don't understand all the dynamics that are going on. But in retrospect, yeah, he didn't like me. He was uh settling for me as a black girl. So he's with a throwback, and then this guy, he has like he has looks like a biracial child, and I don't know what his status is. He just looks like your everyday bandit, and I'm like, my blackness protected me from all of that. Imagine. Imagine if they had been into me, I'd be in maybe in a worse off situation than I'm in. My blackness protected me from them. But yeah, black girls growing up in the suburbs, we witnessed this, so we understand. We get it on a deep level because we grew up watching it from the inception. And so it's not and this kills the proximity. This kills the proximity argument that they like to use. Well, he's just with this white girl because that's all that's around him. He just keep going up in life and it ain't nothing but white girls around him. The proximity argument. This isn't untrue. If you talk to if you talk to most suburban black girls, black girls who grew up either in a minority where there were very few black people in their school district, in their neighborhoods, or maybe even if they were bused to a predominantly white school, or maybe a super diverse school where maybe it's like equal this and equal, like, equal parts of different types of cultures. If you talk to most suburban black girls, they'll tell you they were still attracted to black boys. They still wanted the black boys to pay attention to them. And a lot of suburban black girls did not date white boys and weren't interested in it at all. At all. And I would put myself into that category as well. I was in the in a school district where I was less than 10%, I was still interested in black men and black boys. So why is it that you can put a black girl in a predominantly white environment, but she's still going to want to be with a black boy, but you put a black boy in any environment, black, white, or mixed, and he's going to want the light, bright white as he can get. So anyway, the proximity thing doesn't it doesn't bear true. Like, no, there's something more. It's not proximity. It's something within these bandits. Uh, I don't know. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I don't want to spend any time actually theorizing the self-hate. I don't think I have enough time tonight to get into all of that. But nonetheless, long story short, there's something there. There's something there. And that popped into my mind the other day. I was like, it seems like, yeah, it's harder for like urban black girls. It's harder for them to understand what we're saying. They will swear up and down that black men love black. They will swear up and down that black men love black women. They'll swear up and down, but they won't. But they don't have any experience seeing them doing the chasing. And so they're going to be much more forgiving with a lot of the stuff. But if you're a black girl that was routinely rejected by black boys for throwbacks and you have intimate experience with that, it's very easy for you to grasp onto these concepts that we're sharing. It's easier for black women like me to grasp onto these concepts because we have experienced it firsthand and we've witnessed it our whole lives, you see, from small. So it's like, well, how do you indoctrinate a third grader? Is he just inherently running after white? Just like, who taught him that? Randomly, this is random, it's sort of related, but it's just like jump multiple year, like decades into the future. I remember dating this black guy, and he told me that his dad told him not to date a black woman. He was like, yeah, my dad told me that I need to never marry a black woman. And he was black. He was fully black. And just remember telling him, like, well, why am I here? Um, and he was like, well, we're not going to get married. And I'm like, well, I don't, I mean, I would think I was in my early 20s. I was like, well, yeah, we're not going to get married tomorrow, but I would like to be married one day, maybe. And if you're telling me that you would never marry me, I just, you know, it puts limits on this relationship. And I don't want to, I can't be in this relationship. I just had to stop talking to him. Like, he just thought that he was going to tell me that. And I was just going to go on about my life and like, spend time with him and everything else, like, and date him. He really thought that it's okay, like, it's the insanity, but he's probably said that to other black women and they stuck around. Maybe they wanted to change him or prove that they were a good enough woman. I don't know. You ain't got to tell me twice that I'm not an option. If I'm not an option, let me not all the way be an option. But yeah, he literally had the audacity to tell that to my face. But even for the ones who don't have the audacity, they tell you, but in so many words. You just have to listen and be vigilant. They'll tell you, "I ain't gonna never marry you." You know, I'm never gonna be um, husband material. I'm never going to self actualize and to be a good husband. And they will tell you that, and they will show you that. Um, yeah, they'll tell you and they'll show you. But yeah, I'm so glad that I was at least able to to share that clip with you ladies, and if you wanna watch the whole thing, you can go over to their channel and watch it. Um, there's actually was a black lady that went on there who I think she thought she was in a relationship with Chris Brown. I think I think that's what she thought, and she was sending money to a scammer, and she said something that I thought was really fascinating. She said, "I have to get standards," or something she said. It's probably it's such a short clip. Um, I need to go back and watch it and like find that one particular clip and then maybe we could look at it. But I just thought that was the most bizarre thing. In her mind, like we as a collective of black women, we've been talking about standards. We've been talking about standards, requirements, expectations. We've been talking about um preferences and requirements and all of that. And she clearly maybe has listened to the standards, some of the standards conversation, but none of it resonated with her. None of it, she isn't able to implement or understand what that means. Because if you're sending money to a scammer online, sending money to any man, okay, period. Routinely sending money to any man means that you don't understand what we were talking about when we were talking about standards. But I just thought that was so bizarre that she let that word come out of her mouth, standards. Like, girl, clearly you don't even require a man to be in the flesh, less known have a standard. Um, so yeah. Um, okay, all right. I think I might be going to go buy something online. I might be meeting someone to buy something online. I have a little bit of time um to myself, so I can probably like dip off and do that and then come back before I have to deal with my little one. Y'all, I just don't even know where to tell you. I've been so exhausted. And I think like, can I go live today? Can I go live today? Can I do a video? And then it'll be like too late or something's going on or whatever, and I don't get to come online and talk to y'all. But I'm glad I was able to come on here today. Today I had time. So, I'm so excited. Anyway, I guess I will let y'all go until the next time we get to come on here and chat. I didn't know that the conversation was going to veer in the way that it did, but that's why I kind of wanted to just leave it open ended the way I did, to just kind of let the the flow of thoughts in the conversation like flow however way they were going to flow. So, anywho, I'm glad that they did. So we'll talk soon. Y'all have a blessed day or night. Bye.